Spies and guns and Jason Statham. It's almost like we've seen this before a lot. Killer Elite. Now, Killer Elite is pretty simple, yet a lot happens in it. It takes place in the 80s. Jason Statham is like, all right, I'm done, killing people. Then a year later, someone kidnaps one of his friends and they're like, all right, we need you to kill these 3 people because we hate them. So Statham's like,
what's happening with those sausages, Charlie?
Actually, he didn't say that, but he pretty much agrees. And then he kills people. And then Clive Owen's hot on his trail. He's like, all right, I'm a guy who kills people also, and he's killing people that we like, so we're gonna go after him, and then you got your movie. And supposedly Killer Elite's based on like a true story. It's based on a book. I don't know if it's really based on a true story. I don't know if it happened how it happened in this movie, because if you look into it, every website that you find saying it is true, you can find another one saying it's all bullshit, so I don't know. And the actors in this movie, they're really good. I mean, Robert DeNiro's in it, Jason Statham's in it, Clive Owen. I've always liked those guys. I mean, Clive Owen especially. The first time I saw Clive Owen, I was like, that dude's a badass, and then he became like, big. Isn't that Angelina Jolie movie where she steps on a mine? That's all I remember about the movie, but I remember he was awesome. So I guess I remember 2 things about the movie. Some of the characters were good, the others you don't care about. You're like, all right, let's just have people die. It almost feels like going into this movie, I should have gotten like a page of character bios that I didn't get. Like when you buy your ticket for this movie, you should get a page of just all the characters and their bios, what they do, where they worked. Like, oh, this is Clive Owen's character. He worked here. Now he works here. He does this because of this. So you at least know a bit about him. Like Batman Arkham Asylum had, where it's like, oh, this is Edward Nygma. He does this and this and this. And you're like, oh, okay, I already knew that, but okay, it's good to have the bio. And there are some mustaches in here, let me tell you. These mustaches put Chet to shame. Straight up 80s mustaches. It was quite awesome. Now, like I said, a lot happens in this movie. A lot. So much, in fact, that it almost seems like disjointed. More happens in Killer Elite than movies that I've seen that are like twice the length of Killer Elite. And Killer Elite's just a 2-hour movie. Apollo 13, where they were like, all right, we need this to fit into this using nothing but that. It's almost like that. It's like the writer and director were like, all right, we need all these events to happen in a movie that's just 2 hours long. At a point in this movie, I was like, all right, it's coming to the end of the movie. I know, because a lot of stuff has happened. People are dead. It's wow, there's an hour left in the movie. And like I said, the acting's really good in the movie. I like the action in the movie too. It was actually really exciting. Shootouts, Jason Statham fighting Clive Owen. When they throw down, you're like, all right, awesome. A big bee's nest underground. How is that not cool and kind of terrifying? Because I'd haul ass at it. I'd be like, no, I'm out. Bees? I saw Honey, I Shrunk the Kids. It never ends well. But this movie just wasn't locked down, It was a little rough around the edges. It just wasn't put together as well as I wanted it to be. It's almost like if they come out with a sci-fi movie that's just okay, but you just think to yourself, you're like, oh, it's all right, but I do have Battlestar Galactica and Firefly and Star Wars Before Vader Yelled No. I don't need one that's just okay. That's kind of like Killer Elite for me. There are a lot of spy movies and hitman movies and thrillers that are done better than Killer Elite. You got Cloak and Dagger from the 80s. Not really, but whatever. In the end, I'll say it's okay, but you're not gonna remember it in T-1 day. I mean, with De Niro and Clive Owen, I just thought it would be better. It's not as good as a De Niro and Clive Owen movie. What was really good in the movie is the sound. Far be it for me to be an audiophile or something like that, but the sound was really good. When something blew up, you knew it blew up. When a gunshot went off and people weren't supposed to hear it, it went off. You're like, someone heard that. So I gotta give it up for the sound. The sound was really good. All right, so spies, espionage, hitmen, action, guns, all the good stuff. What's your favorite movie of that type? Comment below, let me know. And as always, if you like what you've seen here and you want to see more, click right here to see more.